Why did I do that? I don't know why I did that. All right, y'all. I don't know why. I hope it starts doing the flipping thing, but usually the screen flips. But so we're on the day here, slightly biased, of course, coming at y'all today with Daniel Gafford today. How you doing, man?
Doing good. How are you guys doing?
Not too bad, man. Appreciate you coming on.
Doing well.
No
Appreciate
problem.
it, of course. Oh, all right.
This is pretty cool. This is our first active professional Arkansas player we've talked to. So we've talked to a few guys that went into the NFL and since been out, but talking to somebody who's actively in the NBA is pretty cool.
Definitely.
Yeah, I say, man, it's just been a real blessing for me these past 2 years. I've learned a lot, and I would say been through a lot, but at the same time, I haven't.
Yeah.
Just really just taking it one day at a time. So I mean, the grind is always the grind. It's my job day in, day out. It's the off season now, so it's a lot of things that I'm doing better when it comes to working on my craft and stuff off the floor and certain things like that. So I'm just taking it one day at a time. So just being patient with a lot of stuff. But yeah, man, I really do appreciate you guys having me on. I'm honored.
Of course, man.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say you could say you've been through a lot. I mean, you went from Arkansas, drafted by the Bulls, to Washington, to the playoffs. I mean, that's quite a bit there. And for somebody, 22, all in a short time period, that pretty quick.
Not only the playoffs, but started to become that dude now, Gaff. I ain't gonna lie to you. Started to become that dude during the playoffs. I mean, your minutes just started skyrocketing before you knew it. Like, hey, I'm looking at dunk after dunk on top of heads and heads.
Yeah, man, just come out and work. When I came to Washington, when they had traded me here to Washington, the coach was like, just do what you do. Come out and do your job. You have the freedom to do what you want, I would say. But other than that, I just came out and I just played ball. I got a love for the game. It's not gonna run dry anytime soon. So just coming out and being able to have the chance to play and being on the floor with guys like Russell, being on the floor with guys like Bradley Beal, certain things like that. It's really like, a big eye opener for me because I'm around greatness and I'm trying to be great as well. So I can take a lot in from those guys. So I just took it one day at a time, came to Washington, I did what I had to do.
So you get drafted by the Bulls. I mean, that's the ultimate goal, I imagine, to get drafted to play in the NBA. And I don't know how much time you had to really take it in and for it to hit you to like, holy shit, I'm playing an NBA. And then there you go to Washington. What was that like?
With the playing in the NBA part, it kind of hit me early, but as I'm going through it, it still hits me. I'm in this position. I would have never thought I would have been in this position. There's been scenarios where I felt like that I wasn't going to make it when it came to just like everyday life or some things like that. But, just having that mental capacity to stay locked in and be able to just, adjust when adversity hits, it can show a lot of character and whatnot. It can show, how much you willing to work to be able to do the things that you love, certain things like that. So just basically locking in when I got traded to Washington, it was a new start for me. Because, I did the things I did in Chicago. And, everything didn't work out the way I wanted it to. Because I felt like I took a lot of stuff for granted over there in Chicago. I didn't feel like I was working the way I needed to. I didn't feel like I was coming in the gym with the mindset of like, okay, just have that stay ready mindset. But then, I had another opportunity when they sent me to Washington. And I came in. I was like, this is my chance to be able to, play on the big stage, make that push for the playoffs. Certain things like that. So I came over here and I, was in the position to just, be of help to another team that was trying to make another playoff run. Chicago was doing the same thing, trying to make a playoff run, and I came to Washington. We did the same thing over here.
Such a good ass mentality to have. It really is.
Yeah, and you mentioned those guys like Westbrook, Bradley Beal, all the
guys. We got to ask about them dudes now.
Is Russ as intense in like day to day as he looks all the time?
Russ is a competitor on the floor for sure. He's a great guy off the court. I would say he has that narrative around him because of just how, how much he loves the game of basketball and how much, how hard he plays and how competitive he is and how intense he is. I would say some guys don't know how to react to that. For me, I've been the same all my life, just coming out, having high energy and just playing ball and just being around a guy like that. It teaches me a lot because it teaches you, instead of like being coachable, it teaches you how to be like a good teammate when you have a teammate like that on the floor, being intense, everywhere, energy is high, nonstop throughout the game from the first tip front to the last buzzer, So you just have to basically just come out and play to that certain level and be able to play right beside him. Because if you don't, you know what I'm saying, he's either gonna get on your ass or the coach is gonna get on your ass. You're gonna be on the bench. So
Yeah, he's one of those dudes where it's like, you know, you're right. You got those narratives and all that, all the stuff like that. But there's one thing no one can ever say or take away from Russ, and it's that dude is 100 miles an hour, 100% effort, first second to last second. That dude will not give up, and you got to
for sure. Yeah, I mean, that's the type of player he's been ever since he got into the league. You know, just watching him all over the years and certain things like that, and like how much he's kind of like inspired me of just having high energy and certain things. That's the way you can change the game. Some guys can be able to change the game like that, have a high intense, you know, high energy type deal, be the guy that comes in and change the game, you know, momentum wise, certain things like that. So I just, you know, come out and, you know, I do all my yelling, I do all my dunking and certain things like that. I try to do everything, you know, do everything that brings energy to the team, brings energy to the crowd, because we feed off that, you know, plays on the floor, you block a shot, go down and score, you know. I might not score, I might block a shot, get us a layup on the other end. Certain things like that.
I was just about to say, don't pretend we ain't seeing you over there swatting that stuff. Stop. You ain't just dunking.
There's just certain things like that for sure, you know, just coming out and just having love for the game and playing for something, playing for that, you know, that thing at the end of the season, you know, after the postseason for sure. It's just that thing for sure, just going out, playing every night, trying to get to that last thing, you know, that last interview, you know, the finals and getting that trophy and partying in the locker room and certain things like that. That's what we're playing for. We want to play for rings, we want to play for identity, we want to play for your team, certain things in that area. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So with the whole team kind of taking in that whole high energy, you know, 100% all the time thing that you talked about, it kind of rubbing people the wrong way. Certain people, I'm sure it gets certain other teams, certain other players going. So with having that energy all the time and maybe getting under people's skin, what's the best shit talker
that was my next question
so far in the league? Like who talks the best trash?
Who talks that good talk?
Shit, I hadn't really like came across like anybody who's talked shit, but in my opinion, I would say Joel Embiid is by far the like
that would be
no hesitation. Like he'll score, you won't even be guarding him, but like if he scores on you, he'll hit a three or anything like that. He's just gonna use that and turn to the crowd, and he's gonna turn it against you for sure. He doesn't even have to talk shit; it's just his body language. It's how he gets the crowd.
The way he just looks at you.
Yeah, and then even after that, if he decides to talk shit, that's when he gets up in your face and certain things like that. But me, I don't really just like let shit talk and get to me. I would say I'll talk shit with my game, unless you know somebody pisses me off. That's when I'm gonna talk shit.
Yeah.
So I just go out and play. And the crazy thing is, before I even got traded, we had played the Wizards in Chicago. Mm-hmm. You know, I was talking shit to Brad.
So you have that conversation when you get there.
Did that get addressed?
Yeah, that day was that game was for sure like by far, you know, the funniest because it was just like, you know, yeah. And it's crazy. I hit my first jump shot in the league against the Wizards now with the Wizards. So Brad was like behind me. I hit the jump shot. He was like, hell no. So I made it. I'm like, hell yeah. And I come down. I think they score. We go on the other end. I get fouled. And I'm just talking shit to Brad. I ain't never talked shit to anybody in my life besides the time me and Drummond had went at each other. I had scored, and they said I had taunted and stuff. He threw the ball at my head, but that was the only time I
was he in Detroit then?
Besides Brad, what's that?
Was he in Detroit then?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm about to say I couldn't remember if you got to play the Lakers or not. Did you play the Lakers?
Yeah, we did. We played them. I played them in Chicago when AD had just got back, I think from injury, I believe. Mm-hmm. And we played them in Washington when AD had got back from injury, and then LeBron was out that game.
Damn.
Yeah.
I'd ask so much shit about Bron. Bron's my dude. That's my goat. That's my number one. And I get ridiculed every single second for it. But Bron's that dude for me. I don't care. He just is.
So we can't have you on here and not talk about Arkansas.
Oh, of course.
Right.
Okay, let's get it.
So I gotta know, like, what is the rivalry when you were there? Everything you heard about for Arkansas, like what's the game? Everybody circles on the calendar. I know you got to take every game one game at a time, but like there's always that one that feels a little bit different.
From a player perspective, what was the rivalry? The most fun, intense game to play or whatever?
It's always Kentucky for me. Everybody wants to come see, you know, Kentucky play the Razorbacks.
Oh yeah.
I mean, back in the day, you got the Mike Qualls dunk when they beat Kentucky.
Oh yeah.
Got that dunk.
I was holding my baby. He was asleep, and I was trying so hard to be quiet.
We were in Fort Campbell.
No hope.
We were in Fort Campbell then, and I'm standing in my living room. Everybody's asleep upstairs. I'm on my phone talking to him, and the dunk happens, and we're like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, and it's crazy because up in Chicago, Mike is up in Chicago and stuff, and he always worked out with me and certain things like that. So I asked him about the dunk. He was just like, "Man, one of the best plays ever." It's just just having all that energy and stuff when it comes to just playing Kentucky. I just feel like it's always a rivalry. When we go to Rupp, we play there, and when we come back to Bud to play there. Whenever we come back to Bud and play Kentucky, it's always a packed house. So I just feel like it's a rivalry in general because I mean, like last year, I think Calipari, he got kicked out of the game.
Yeah, he did.
And they went nuts, and it was like a limited crowd in there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Kentucky, I feel like is that rivalry. It might be other people. I would say probably Missouri too. I would say I don't know. It's iffy on that one, but I mean the rivalries.
They can't stop it.
Yeah, any team that came in Bud, it always felt like a rivalry because everybody was there to see the Hogs just go crazy, and it was always just like a crazy experience. We dunking, we shooting threes, getting the crowd into it, whoop pig suey.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, the energy was just unmatched, and it's always just gonna be, just Bud Walton Arena, one crazy ass place.
Who was your favorite? It's not to ridicule nobody or say nothing down on nobody. Who was your favorite teammate when you were at Arkansas?
Favorite team? I really wouldn't say I had favorites.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, I tried to be acquainted with all the guys equally. I was the guy that always, come in, practice, go play, go back to my room, play my game.
Your own thing, yeah.
So just whenever I was out and about and I was around the team and stuff, I was always just trying to be acquainted with everybody equally. I never picked favorites, but I would say my freshman year, Gabe Osaboyan, he was my guy. Yeah, he was like, we was like road dogs. We went everywhere together. We like went to parties together. We went out to eat together and certain things like that. So all the guys that kind of, I would say, came in with me, like, Gabe, Khalil Garland, Darius Hall, I think Jalen Harris, he was there my freshman year, but he had redshirted that year. Mm-hmm. So just all those guys, we had like our own little group, I would say, it was every now and then that I would be, with them because I was an introverted guy. I stayed in my room, like I said, played my game. But whenever I went out, we either went out to eat, we either went to a party, certain things like that. And just, build like that relationship between all of us, certain things like that. So I never really had a favorite, in my opinion.
So you're talking about how crazy you packed what Bud Walton is. Like, here there's no pro team, so the Razorbacks are the pro team. So yeah, exactly. I was curious, how does that environment for like a packed Bud Walton compare to an NBA arena, like when everybody's going crazy? It's obviously a bigger stage, but to us here, like from sitting in Bud Walton, it's hard to imagine that anything just blows it away.
Well, you also screw with all the COVID stuff in the NBA. Like, hell, you ain't had to have a packed house yet.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I think the first, I would say, close to packed house I seen was when we went to Philly for the first time. And, it was a playoff game. Whole arena was packed. I was like, damn, it felt like it's like my first day here. Yeah. It's like, shit, it felt like it's a normal just playing without fans. And then when the fans came back, it just felt so different. But I would say, in my opinion, nothing compares to Bud Walton. Bud Walton is in its own category.
That is the correct answer.
Yeah. It's in its own category. I would say nothing could compare to it. You got NBA arenas that get loud, everything like that. I wouldn't say no arena is going to get loud how Bud Walton gets loud, in my opinion, for sure. Bud Walton, it was a different type of energy when you were in there, especially if like it was like a power play. You get a block or you get a dunk. Then they call the other team calls the timeout. You get the whoop pig suey. Yeah.
You get the whoop pig suey.
We went to a Florida game this year, and there was like, I don't know, between 1,000, 2,000 people, and there towards the end, man, it got loud, and there was empty seats everywhere, but it didn't feel like the game got going.
Yeah, you can have all types of empty seats around Bud Walton, but it's not going to stop people from getting rowdy in there.
Hell no.
Yeah, I'm excited with the way that they're going right now. Coming off of last year, going back to 100% capacity, it's going to be nuts in there.
And Must Bus is that dude, you know that.
Oh yeah, most def. I had them going, like, in my mind, they were going all the way.
I had them winning it.
Thought they were going to come out of the the Elite Eight, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they were going to come out. I thought they were going to come out with the tails on fire and just come out and just take everybody on.
Man, we had to meet the dudes.
It was them against the world. It was them against the world, man. They were really counting them out. because of just the simple fact of just like, I would say some people were thinking about like the lack of size that they had, but shit, they didn't let that phase them, and they came out and played hard every night. You know, just watching the highlights. There was some games I got to watch. You know, and they just talking shit to the people that was always in the training room and stuff. I'm like, yeah, we going all the way this year. Stop playing with me.
Oh man. Hey, another quick question. Who's the most intense dude in practices?
Oh, in Washington?
Yeah.
Oh, see, well, it's weird because we had to sacrifice a lot of practice time.
Oh,
we never really like had practices. It was just like, you know, we go in, watch film, back to the house. Pretty much it. But I would say the most intense guy I would say that was in practice in Chicago. We was all pretty much equal there. I don't think everybody was intense there because I mean, you know, practice, you know, going at each other. You know, you're gonna be talking shit. You're going at each other, yada yada this, yada yada that. So I don't know. I don't know about Chicago. I can't really put my finger on who was the most intense one in the
Zach LaVine's becoming that dude, isn't he?
Oh yeah, for sure. Zach is Zach. He's a bucket for sure.
Sheesh.
Man, that dunk contest with him and Aaron Gordon going back and forth was the one that I think started all these, you know, lesser known guys getting into the dunk contest, because you had all the big stars, and then when that kind of fell off, those two guys came in and kind of resurrected the dunk contest. Man, that was cool.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, sooner or later I'm gonna try to get in one.
Yes.
Know, if I can win one. You know, I might try like once or twice, but if I lose those times, I don't know if I got a third one in.
Favorite party spot in Arkansas?
Say again?
Favorite party spot in Arkansas when you was here? What was your favorite place you go to for just turning up?
I can't. My most favorite one, it was one of the frats that me and Gabe used to always go to. It was Phi Delta. We always went there, and it was like, you know, we always went there. Guys treating us like, you know, like, oh, Daniel, Gabe, guys, come in, do whatever you want, bro. Do whatever you want. Get whatever you want, drink whatever you want. Cool, you know what I'm saying? I like this. You know, I'm not gonna do whatever I want because I get in trouble. You know, can't do whatever you want. But just for sure. If I know they had some nice parties. But I would say it was a lot more. I just can't remember the name right now. Being on Dixon for sure. That was always just, you know, a great experience for me. You know, just walking around, seeing everybody. You know, it was just lit.
Yeah, the pictures from Dixon when they were making the run in the tournament. They had those big screens outside on the wall, people standing in the street watching the game. It was crazy. That was around the time where, you know, that Arkansas fan in the back of your mind, you're like, oh man, I got a bad feeling. And it got to the point in that run in the tournament where it was like, we're gonna win.
I've never had a bad feeling.
Like, we gonna win the whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
Little did we know what Baylor was gonna be.
Yeah.
Damn it.
So last thing I got for you, man, like with the way the basketball team's going right now, from a player's perspective that went through the process of coming to Arkansas, like what would be your pitch to tell people like why should they come to Arkansas?
Bud Walton Arena.
Easy enough.
Man, the fact is just, you know, it's a different type of love here. You know, like you said, we don't have a pro team there. So just coming up there, you're basically a pro, especially at Arkansas. And in anybody's eyes in Arkansas, like you're either coming up there to play, whether you're coming up there to play basketball, football, soccer, track, whatever, any type of sport in like the state of Arkansas, when you're coming up to Fayetteville, you're going to be loved for sure. You know, people like, don't go to Arkansas, yada this, don't do that. Like, come on, man. Woo pig.
Woo pig, exactly.
It's the Razorbacks. You know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter all the slander that they say about us, anything like that, about the fans, anything. Just, you know, come up here. The experience is gonna be great. I promise. You know, from like the school part of it to the athletics part of it. You know, you get treated like separate from everybody else. You know, my thing when I came up, I never wanted to be treated like, you know, I was higher than anybody, but it just happened. So, you know, sometimes
it turned out you were a lot better than most.
Sometimes you have to accept it. But like one thing about it, you know, everybody there is together. No matter if like you're doing bad with the sport, anything like that, everybody there is together. Everybody's going to always come up and root you on. There's going to be some fans that say, yeah, I'm behind Arkansas no matter what. Some fans are like, ah, shit, they're losing. I'm out of here. You know, it doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, it's Arkansas. You know, Bud Walton Arena, the football stadium. You know, the energy there is different from any place I would say else. You know, that's just my opinion. And if anybody else got something to say about that, I apologize, but that's just the way I like it.
And I was at the baseball game against Nebraska on Monday night when they hit the big home run, and they started calling the Hogs, and the umpire that was standing at third base, like when middle of calling the Hogs, he was looking around, like kind of taking it in. He was like, all right. It's pretty,
like energy's not matched, you know? It feel
Eric,
like
you got Musselman behind home plate. Eric Musselman back there calling him. Man, the Musselman.
Right, yeah, it's different because, you know, it's like we're one big happy family as a state. And especially like if we go down to say we go down to Little Rock, play that basketball game down in Little Rock, that one game. Everybody comes in. One big happy family, you know? And I mean, if anybody's, you know, having the intentions of going to Arkansas, the decision you're not going to regret. I promise. You know, now anything after that decision that you regret, that's not on me.
Nope.
You're on your own after that.
Give him that sucker. And we got one last thing. Hopefully you accept. We want to send you a slightly biased hat. If you wouldn't mind, we'd send that to you if you'd rock it.
Most definitely.
It's pretty tight. I think you'll like it.
We just
Colors are nice.
Yeah, for sure. I'll rock it for sure. Yeah.
I'm gonna send you that. You represent that up there for us. And
cool. I got you.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate everything, man. Thanks for giving us this opportunity.
No, thank you guys for having me on. Y'all have a good one.
All right. Hey, get your time zone straight.
I got you, bro. I'm working on it. I'm still adjusting.
All right, man. Thank you again.
All right.
I'll see you, bro.
Uh-huh.